latest jobs report is out, and it was stronger than expected. 178,000 jobs were added in March, and unemployment fell to 4.3%. The president touted the success, saying, "My economic policies have created an enormously powerful engine of economic growth, and nothing can slow it down." However, Americans seem to be unhappy. In fact, they're unhappy with everybody. This is known as the double haters poll by CNN. About 25% of Americans have an unfavorable view of both parties. But I'll tell you, it's this next poll that is really, really shocking. In a key demographic for the president, white working class voters have turned negative for the first time in Trump's second term. 49% approve, 50% disapprove. It was 54% approval just last month. So if the economy is doing well, why are Americans not happy? Let me ask former Trump campaign senior economic advisor Stephen Moore and founder of the Forward Party, former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang. Great to have you both here. Andrew, I'll start with you. Why are we seeing this?
Trump won in 2024 because of the border and inflation. And right now there's pain at the pump. Tariffs have had an inflationary effect on various small businesses. There are a lot of small business owners who relied upon tourists from places like Canada that aren't coming through. And so you see voters being very, very unsatisfied about Trump's performance on why they voted for him now almost 2 years ago.
Stephen, I found a common little denominator in both of these. So when they were asked, why do you hate Democrats, 11% said not standing up to Trump or the GOP. Why do you hate the GOP? Don't stand up to Trump, 14%. What do you make of that?
Well, look, we had a very strong economy in 2025, no question about it. And, we had rising real incomes for workers. We had, a booming stock market, and we had low prices. And there's no question that Iran really has changed that situation pretty dramatically. I mean, right now, the price of oil has gone from $60 a barrel up to 105, 110, and people are paying now $4 to $5 a gallon at the gas tank. So I understand why people are angry. I guess this is a gamble by Trump. If he can basically win this war, get rid of this evil regime, we all agree on that, and we can get the Straits of Hormuz open, we're going to see gas prices go back down to the $3 a gallon measure, and I think Trump will then be seen as triumphant. But it's a gamble, and everybody is angry right now about high prices.
100%. And look, Andrew, when I look at and I'm thinking about the Democratic divide, why they're splintering off, what do you think it is? Is it there's a shift or not a consensus on priorities? Goals? Is it Israel? I mean, what are you seeing that perhaps there's not a consensus in the Democratic Party and you're seeing splintering off?
Well, Jesse, nothing unifies Democrats like Trump, but the Democratic brand is deeply underwater. And you had independents break for Trump in 2024 who were dissatisfied, and they're dissatisfied still. You're in a low fire economy that's now converting, in my opinion, into something much more sinister and negative as AI comes online. The labor force participation rate is actually dropping. It's one reason why unemployment looks low. It's because hundreds of thousands of Americans have dropped out. You have recent college graduates who can't find jobs. So there's one consistent thread, which is I'm mad at whoever's in power, and right now that person is Trump.
Do you look at this poll, Stephen, and you concerned for what the midterms should hold? Why do I say that? One of the things they said is Democratic voters, highly motivated, 57%. GOP voters, highly motivated, 38%. As we're trying to understand, and it's no exact science about who splinters off and who's unhappy with each party and where they're going to vote, because it switches, right? If some people are unhappy with either party, maybe they vote for Trump. We saw that in 2016. It reverses. Is that a concern?
Well, as a Republican, it sure is. I mean, look, you'd expect Democrats to pick up, if this were a normal midterm election, 20 to 30 congressional House seats and a bunch of Senate seats. Republicans still think they can hold on to the Senate and perhaps the House. I think it's the long odds. But it's not going to happen if people are still paying $4 to $5 a gallon gas, right? This is imperative for Trump to basically be able to tell the American voters in September and October, hey, look, it was short-term pain. but we've got long-term gain here. We've eliminated nuclear weapons. We've liberated people from a thuggish regime. But look, people want a strong economy. One other quick thing I'd say is, yeah, the polling is bad for Republicans. It's terrible for Democrats too. People are not happy with the Mondamis and the Newsoms and the idiot mayor of Chicago. So Democrats have not shown that they can govern anywhere virtually in America.
Andrew, this goes to a larger point, and you know Chris very well. You know Chris says he hates the binary system. He hates it, right? He hates the two options.
Right.
When Andrew, you look at a poll like this, and I think it's pretty significant. I mean, we're dedicating time to it on the show. Is there more an appetite for a centrist option? Is there more an appetite for an independent option?
100%. We see it every day. So you have these 25% who are angry at both parties, Jesse. You have 49 or 50% of Americans who self-identify as independents. Democratic approval rating as a party is 29%, which is incredibly low. Republican, 32%, not a whole lot better. So there's this budding frustration, and that leads to an appetite for a new alternative. It's one reason why the Forward Party, for example, is getting new energy and people every day.
Stephen, I just want to highlight something and clarify it. You talked a lot about the war and this uncertainty and this discontent people might have. I just want to go back to this. When you say, when we're looking at white working class voters, 50% disapprove, is it just that, or is it tariffs? Is it the Supreme Court? Is it immigration? Not the border. Is it immigration? Real quick, we have about 30 seconds. You think it's just Iran, or do you think there's something else going on?
I think Iran really derailed the economy, hopefully only temporarily. But the other big point here, though, is, Americans can make the contrast between what's happening in red states and blue states. We just saw that, with the mass exodus of people and workers out of blue state America. And I go back to that point. Show me any Democrat today who is governing well. I can't virtually point to anyone.
Stephen Moore, Andrew Yang, thank you both for coming on. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.